Welcome back again, everybody, to the 423 Football Podcast. It is going to be our Week 9 preview show today, and I'm your host, Brandon Bouchard, joined here by Brett Hamilton.
Hello!
I don't even think we did an introductions last show, if I come to think of it.
Yeah, probably not.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But
you know who's here.
Yeah, it's probably going to be me and Brett most of the time from here on out. Peyton might show up every now and then. He's probably going to be more of a guest, sadly.
It's boom or bust.
Yeah, boom or bust with Peyton. That job's got him holding it down. The Sludge Master's got to do his thing. But yeah, we should have Kevin and Steele and Peyton on here in every now and then. So
yeah, especially those league episodes.
Yeah, so hopefully on Friday we'll have one of them. I know Kevin. I think Kevin's definitely supposed to be here.
Cool.
On Friday. So obviously it was a busy week this past week. Last episode, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of injuries and trades, a lot of moving parts in the league at this point. So we got a lot to cover today. We're going to go through the Week 9 matchups. We're going to get starts and sits at the very end, so definitely stick around for the starts and sits. If you want to just subscribe and not listen to wait and listen to the starts and sits, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at the 423 Football. We got a lot of great information over there. We got our starts and sits just laid out plain and simple. We got our waiver wire ads. We've got news updates all the time, so definitely give us a follow over there. And before we get into the matchups, I just want to say, obviously, sports is going on, or sports getting crazy right now. This week has been incredible. We're recording on Tuesday night, so World Series starts in about an hour, I believe.
Yep.
So that'll be fun to watch. But the college football playoff rankings just came out. We were just talking about this, and top 4 right now, Georgia's number 1. I won't even dabble in the others, but Georgia's number 1 over Alabama. It might just be the homer in me, just like thinking, just like there's no way. There's no way. What has Alabama shown that puts them at number 2?
I would say Georgia, without dabbling in it too much. Georgia has shown a lot to justify moving up in the rankings.
They've looked good. I'm not going to lie.
But there's nothing that Alabama's done to justify moving them down.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And obviously 1-2, I think that's pretty solidified. Obviously Georgia and Alabama.
Notre Dame being number 3.
That is dumb.
Ridiculous.
That is dumb. No, and I still don't. I don't know. Clemson's still a good football team. Ohio State's at 6.
Good. They didn't even make the top 5?
No, they didn't make
Wow.
Well, they had Oklahoma is ahead of them just because Oklahoma beat them. But I think Ohio State.
I think Ohio State's better.
I do too.
But, it's all opinions.
That's what everyone talks about, the eye test, and clearly there is nothing about the eye test in this ranking, this first set of rankings at all.
No.
It is just straight up schedule based, I guess.
No, not at all.
I don't know. I'm just pissed because
yeah, we know.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to watch this next game against LSU, and they're gonna have a little 2 next to Alabama's name.
Oh yeah,
during the game. But it's not really gonna matter.
Just drive you crazy.
It's not gonna matter because it's all gonna come down to the SEC championship, I assume, if all things go right.
Yep.
But away from that, Week 9 matchups preview. Actually, quick before we get into that, we got another beer for this episode, recommended by Joseph. Joseph recommended this one, right?
Yes. Actually, no, I purchased it the day before Joseph recommended it.
Ooh.
So it was kind of ironic. But
a little too late, Joseph. Sorry.
Yeah. But he does endorse it.
It's from Shiner Bock.
Shiner. Bach is the beer.
Is it?
Shiner Bock is a beer from Shiner.
Well, I feel stupid. Oh, yeah, that makes sense because
Shiner's the brewery.
Sam Adams has the chocolate Bock. I don't know why I said that.
That's okay.
Yeah. Shiner, the Shiner Holiday Cheer. I guess, do they only have it around I guess in the fall, basically.
Yeah, fall, winter. It's a little bit early. It's more of a Christmassy beer, but I thought, why not?
It's said to have peach and pecan, and I already cracked mine open.
Yeah.
And I cracked it open because I love peach flavored, or I just love
peaches in general.
Yeah. So I cracked it open, took a big whiff, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot of peach. Because it was very, very peachy. Yeah. And I took a few sips, and it is delicious. Like what was the other one? Son of a Peach.
Son of a Peach, that's very
Who makes
peachy.
that one?
Well, shoot, I don't know.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Is it Sierra Nevada?
No.
Is it... I don't know.
I might
whatever.
Google it.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that one's like super peachy. That's like sour peachy. But this one's like it's. I mean, it's still strong.
Son of a Peach is by R.J. Rockers.
Okay, that I wouldn't have guessed that. Never mind. But no, this Shiner Holiday Cheer, it's very peachy, but it's kind of like it's heavier. It's like darker.
Yeah, it's a dark wheat,
and it is so good. I love my peach. You gotta crack that baby open. Take a sip.
Wow, I can smell the peach. I know exactly what you're talking about now.
I love it. It's good.
Wow, yeah, that is peachy.
That one,
but it's really good.
This one and
not quite as peachy as Son of a Peach, but it's got a really, really good flavor.
Yeah, this one and what was the one I said I liked last week? What was it? Was it the Lagunitas? The little something. That one and this one are probably my two favorites so far.
Oh, cool. Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah. So we'll be sipping on that throughout the episode. Again, we do not take money or are sponsored by any of these beers.
Nope.
We just love to drink them.
Just like drinking beer and talking about football.
Yeah, that's just who we are.
Just what it is. It is what it is.
So let's talk about football. Week 9 matchups. Last week, we dubbed Bipocalypse. This week, I guess we can dub Bimageddon. We'll split them up. Week 8, Bipocalypse. Week 9, Bimageddon. Because this week, we got 6 buys as well. Bears, Browns, Vikings, Patriots, Steelers, and Chargers all on a bye. Huge fantasy names in there. Aside from the Browns, obviously. But, you got guys like Le'Veon, Antonio Brown, Melvin Gordon, Tom Brady. All these guys out of your lineups this week.
Mitch Trubisky.
Yes. Deshaun Kaiser. Vince Mayle. No, he's on the Ravens now. All right. So, yeah, a lot of, if they're in your lineups at this point, definitely want to take them out. Don't be a lazy league mate. That's never good.
Never good.
All right. Bills and Jets, first matchup, Thursday Night Football. Bills playing surprisingly well despite having next to no pass catchers. However, they go out and get Kelvin Benjamin. So maybe I assume that's going to help them quite a bit in the passing game. I don't really think it helps Kelvin that much. I think it helps Tyrod quite a bit. I think it helps LaShawn McCoy and the team in general. But Kelvin, I think his value pretty much stays the same.
I think it's the same. It's definitely not going to hurt him.
Yeah, but now we have at least 3 relevant fantasy players on the Bills: LaShawn McCoy, Tyrod Taylor, and now Kelvin Benjamin.
Yep.
All right, on the Jets side of the ball, Jets are just 3-5, but they're looking better.
They look better than 3-5.
They look better than everyone expected.
Yeah.
Tough matchup against the Bills, though, who have really, really shut down some offenses this year.
Right.
I don't know about you. I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm avoiding starting any Jets if I can help it, other than Austin Seferian-Jenkins, because I think Austin Seferian-Jenkins, well, one, he's in the tight end position.
Yeah.
And I think he actually does have a pretty good game against the Bills.
It is a good matchup. You saw both Buccaneer tight ends have solid fantasy games when they traveled to Buffalo. So I think ASJ is a pretty safe option. As good as Robbie Anderson played last week, I don't feel confident playing him this week. It's just a tough matchup. And it's gonna be tough on the Jets offense in general.
Yeah, obviously Robbie Anderson had a big game last week. Forte is actually getting more involved again too. But again, tough matchup. I would try to avoid starting them if obviously you're dealing with bye week problems. Robbie Anderson, I actually still kind of like, Bills have been very, very tough against wide receivers, though. Mm-hmm. I have the Bills winning this game, though.
I do have the Bills. Yep.
All right, Ravens and Titans. Ravens coming off a huge performance, especially on defense, shutting out the Dolphins on Thursday night last week.
Yeah.
So they're nice and rested, which is good. Joe Flacco, obviously we saw that big hit last week. Got a concussion. He's expected to play. I fully expect him to be out there.
Yeah.
Alex Collins, the guy to own in Baltimore, in the backfield. I guess Danny Woodhead might be back in a few weeks, but Alex Collins, definitely the big waiver wire acquisition.
Yeah. I think Danny Woodhead's going to have a bigger effect on Buck Allen's fantasy value going forward.
I agree.
I think Alex Collins is still, Danny Woodhead and Alex Collins do not play the same.
Yeah. How about when Danny Woodhead I don't know, this just popped in my head right now. Danny Woodhead, obviously we'll get to the Panthers here in a little bit, but once Danny Woodhead comes back, who do you like more rest of the season, Danny Woodhead or Christian McCaffrey? Because they're very similar players, and I compared the two last episode.
It's tough because the Panthers just lost a big target, but they don't.
They still don't know how to use McCaffrey though.
I'm gonna say Danny Woodhead. I just don't have any faith in how they're using McCaffrey.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Are you starting anyone else on the Ravens side of the ball? I know Macklin had a touchdown last week. Ben Watson, I believe, got in the end zone. I do like Ben Watson actually as a tight end, just because tight ends are kind of scarce.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Are you Macklin, for instance? Do you really like?
I don't think Macklin's consistent enough to trust. He's going to have great games, but he's going to have a lot of duds in between. I don't feel confident.
All right, Titans coming off a much-needed bye week, trying to get guys healthy. Delaney Walker's dealing with an ankle injury, did not practice on Monday. We're going to have to monitor that. Actually, we're going to monitor all these guys. Corey Davis, hamstring, limited in practice. Hopefully he gets back on the field because he is I think he's going to be something special once he's actually healthy.
Yep.
Marcus Mariota is reported as 100% healthy, so should be good to go there. DeMarco Murray, limited in practice. I still think he's going to be fine. He's been banged up all year, and he's been rolling out.
He's always limited in practice. He's just one of those guys that doesn't have to practice. He just shows up and plays.
Yeah. Ravens, however, they've shown to be a tough matchup.
Yeah.
So temper expectations when starting Titans.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough matchup, even for Mariota. I think it's going to be kind of a down week.
I don't expect a big stat sheet from Mariota this week.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it'll be a mid scoring game, 20-something, 20-20 type of deal. But I got the Titans sneaking this one out, actually.
I'll take the Titans at home.
Yeah, barely.
They've burnt. Yeah, barely. It's going to be a close one, but they've burned me before. But I have faith in them this week.
I keep forgetting to check our rankings in the pick'ems, but are you still? I had a good week last week. I'm pretty sure though.
I'm ahead by 120.
Still, yeah. God, it's bad. I think I got pretty much all of them except for like 3.
Actually, yeah. Last week there was actually pretty few upsets. But. I think I missed 3 as well.
Well, dang. So I
not
can't
gaining
get
any ground.
All right, Buccaneers and Saints. Saints rolling out the wins, while Buccaneers have been a bit of a disappointment thus far. It's a great matchup for both teams in theory. The defenses really haven't been that stout. Are you worried about Jameis Winston possibly missing this game with a shoulder injury? I know we dabbled in that a little bit last episode.
Yeah, I actually think that it looks like they don't want to have to play him, but they may have to anyway, just because of where they are in the division, and they're fighting to salvage the season at this point. So it may force their hand to play him, but I think he's taking too many shots on that shoulder.
What is they signed Doug Martin to a how long of a deal did they sign him to?
It was 5 years.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's I was just thinking in my head. I was like, what if they I'm not gonna say tanked, but because they still have a chance at the playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of possibly obviously this isn't going to happen now, but if Doug Martin wasn't on that big contract, possibly going and trying to tank the season and trying to get Saquon Barkley, which I think would be incredible for that offense.
Oh, Barkley, yeah.
But I guess that's a little far-fetched.
Yeah.
All right, but speaking of Doug Martin, I really, really think, I've been saying this the past couple of weeks, I think he needs to be the focal point of the offense if they want to start winning games. Yeah. Obviously, Dirk Cutter doesn't trust Jameis and his throwing ability. He's been vocal about that, but he keeps throwing the ball constantly and putting Jameis in situations where, granted, Jameis could make better decisions.
Yep, still young.
But Cutter's not making it any easier on him. If he wanted to make it easy on him, he'd run Doug Martin down people's throats. Yeah. And Doug Martin, when he gets the ball, it's looked good.
Yep. Very few times has he stopped at the line of scrimmage. I mean, it's just he looks so good when you go back and watch his tape. I mean, he can move laterally. If he gets into open space, he's quick. I mean, I don't understand why they're not leaning on him more. I don't know what the issue is. Even in game scripts where they should run it more, they keep throwing these slant routes. You saw Mike Evans get targeted on like 17 dig routes, and that's apparently the only route that they're letting him run for some reason.
But I saw so many drives last week where it was like Doug Martin, he'd get the first down carry, get a first down, get another carry, get a first down, and then the next set of downs,
three passes
in a row, and it just dies.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But anyway, you're obviously starting Mike Evans in this game, regardless of who the quarterback is. I think Fitzpatrick can do fine getting him the ball.
He threw a nice touchdown to Mike Evans versus the Cardinals.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
I still like Cameron Brate over O.J. Howard.
Yep. They're working O.J. into the offense more. I think he's someone to keep an eye on, especially with all these tight ends that get injured every single week. But Cameron Brate's definitely the more reliable one.
I mean, I like OJ in Tampa. I think it's a decent fit. Yeah. But man, if he was on a better in a better situation where they're actually using him as a passer, if he was he could easily outdo what Evan Ingram's doing right now. OJ Howard is super, super talented. They're just not really using him that way yet.
Yeah. It's because they have Cameron Brate.
Make him Brate.
He's been doing really well this season.
Cameron Brate's done well. On the Saints side of the ball, Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, both fantasy relevant, two-headed monster at this point.
Yep.
They are really, really dynamic. Good 1-2 punch. Still, Mark Ingram's going to finish ahead of Todd Gurley the rest of the season.
Oh my gosh.
He'll be a top 5 back.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, that dollar bet is it's gonna favor me. I have no doubt. But anyway, I love Drew Brees and the Saints pass catchers in this game. Outside of Michael Thomas, who would you target to start from the Saints pass catchers?
It's hard for me to get away from Ted Ginn at this point. Historically, Ted Ginn has been a boom or bust fantasy play, but now that he's with Drew Brees has incredible accuracy, and it's really showing to raise the floor for Ted Ginn, and I don't see any reason why that should diminish at all.
Yeah, I do think in deeper leagues, or if you're struggling with bye weeks, Brandon Coleman might actually be a decent play here.
Yeah,
but outside of those three, Thomas, Ginn, and Coleman, not really.
Willie Snead may be good later this season,
see something.
But
I gotta see something first.
I'm not even rostering him at this point.
Yeah, Rams and Giants, both teams coming off a bye.
You didn't say we didn't pick winners.
Oh, we didn't pick winners. Who'd you have winning?
Never bet against your own team. I'm going the Buccaneers.
I'm going the Saints. All right. Rams, Giants, both teams coming off a bye. Rams have looked very good all year. Highest scoring team thus far. Love Todd Gurley in this matchup. I think he's going to run wild. I think they're going to lean on the back of him. Are you starting anyone outside of Todd Gurley? I know we just heard that Janoris Jenkins will be suspended for this game.
That's very interesting for the Rams pass catchers.
Yeah.
Other than Todd Gurley, who's obviously a pass catcher.
Do you like... I know Kupp's not really the outside guy, that Janoris, so I don't think Janoris would affect him.
No, it doesn't.
But who would you rather have, Cooper Kupp or Sammy Watkins in this game?
In this game, I think I'm going to roll out Sammy Watkins.
Might have actually one of those big games.
He's going to have, he's definitely not an every week must start, but I think that would be one of my bolder predictions for this week.
All right, I could see that happening. Giants are attempting to continue an upward path without Odell Beckham. Do you still think Orleans Darkwa is the guy at the running back position?
Wow.
That's it. Just let that sound. Just let that sound. Just let that sound be the answer.
That's about as confident as I am with that answer. Maybe
it's definitely not a good matchup here.
Does it matter?
I think Darkwa can provide fantasy relevance. I don't like him in this game. I think Rams would pretty much shut down any chance of a run game.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram, I do think is a must start at tight end, even if the matchup is difficult. I think they're going to use him so much.
I have no problem starting Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I think he's so dynamic, and they're going to use him so much, it's not going to matter. Sterling Shepard dealing with the ankle injury. He practiced on Monday. He's questionable, so we're going to monitor that all week.
Yeah.
I think Sterling Shepard could be pretty fantasy relevant going forward, especially with...
Yeah. He has to be their wide receiver number one. I mean, who's going to be in front of him?
Evan Ingram.
Well, okay. Yeah. Besides the tight end.
All right, I got the Rams winning this one.
Rams, yeah.
All right, Broncos and Eagles. Broncos starting to look atrocious on offense with Trevor Siemian under center.
Oh, man. Did you watch that game? We didn't watch that one together.
No, I watched it, though.
Watching Trevor Siemian play quarterback is one of the most painful things I've ever watched.
He
looks so bad.
I gotta retract my Trevor Siemian being the next Tom Brady statement.
Well, I said Peyton Manning, so that's not going to work out either.
No, it's not.
Okay, in all fairness, he's still young, but man, it's like every time he snaps the ball, he has no idea what he's doing.
He's like a scared cat.
Yes,
he's skittish.
Yes, and so if I'm a Broncos fan, I'm calling for. Would you start Brock Osweiler?
No, I'd keep rolling Trevor Siemian out until maybe Paxton Lynch is healthy.
I just feel like that's cruel and unusual punishment for Trevor Siemian. I mean, by the end of that game, I was wondering why they weren't pulling him out because he was getting destroyed.
He was, but again, I'm just gonna just like when I was talking about Doug Martin earlier. I think one of the problems with the Broncos' offense is they're not using their run game enough. Trevor Siemian is he's a bad quarterback. Jameis Winston, much better quarterback than Trevor Siemian. But he's young, and he makes mistakes. And why use a quarterback like that and throw constantly when you have pretty good running games? Like C.J. Anderson and Jamal Charles, they need to be the focal point of this offense, just like Doug Martin needs to be the focal point of the Buccaneers offense. I understand there's other players like the pass catchers, obviously Mike Evans on the Bucs, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders on the Broncos, but the run game is where if you can balance the run game and get it going, then the quarterbacks won't have to make these crazy mistakes. Obviously, the Broncos were in this game against the Chiefs. The Bucs were in this game against the Panthers. If it wasn't for mistakes by quarterbacks, they probably would have won these games.
Yeah. And
the running game is where you avoid the mistakes.
The difference between those two comparisons is I saw this whenever the Broncos suffered the awful loss to the Giants. I think this was a part of the Giants' game plan that worked out. They crowded the box and they shut down the run game. They forced Trevor Siemian to throw it more than they wanted to, and he fell apart. And I think that's part of it. And you saw in this game against the Chiefs, they crowded the box, they shut down the run game, and they were getting to him quick. They were getting in the backfield, making him not know what to do with it, throw down, take a sack. He was sacked like 5 times. I feel like that's whenever teams play the Broncos, that's going to be their game plan going forward. And they just can't rely on the run game if the defense is shutting it down.
The Chiefs didn't shut it down that much. Like C.J. Anderson had 80 yards combined. Jamal Charles was doing fine. Obviously, he fumbled, which that's not going to help anything.
No.
But I thought the run game and Devontae Booker got in the end zone. the run game was okay. Their offensive line is decent, but
I don't think giving it to the running backs more is going to fix it.
I don't know. Well, definitely, obviously, Broncos and Eagles this week. It's not really going to get easier.
No, this is going to be atrocious.
Yeah,
the Eagles have an incredible pass rush.
Yeah, the pass rush for the Eagles is very good. Their defense has been very, very stout. Eagles definitely a start this week in fantasy.
Yep.
We will be monitoring Emmanuel Sanders' ankle. He did not play last week, but expects to play Week 9. I don't consider that a guarantee, but we'll just keep that. I think it's going to be more of a game-time decision. Now, the Eagles. On the Eagles side of the ball, they've looked like the best team in football thus far.
Well, if you got North Dakota tough Carson Wentz throwing you dingers,
then how can you go wrong?
How can you not be the best offense in the NFL?
They possibly get even better with the addition of Jay Ajayi.
Yep.
We kind of talked about this a little bit in the last show. I really, really don't see Jay Ajayi doing that much more for this offense than LeGarrette Blount did. I still think LeGarrette Blount's going to be involved. I still think Wendell Smallwood's going to be involved on third downs. But I don't know. Especially in this game, this is a very, very tough game. I don't think Jay Ajayi's going to do anything in this game. I don't think he's going to get more than 5 touches, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. He just got traded midweek.
But, I mean, it's obviously a tough matchup regardless. Broncos are tough defense. But, obviously, with Jay Ajayi being added and the Eagles going up against a tough Broncos team, who are you most confident in on the Eagles side of the ball in this matchup, and who are you least confident in?
On the Eagles side?
Yes.
I'm least confident in... I was going to say LeGarrette Blount, but I guess with the Jay Ajayi thing, that changes it.
Yeah.
I guess I could be least confident in Jay Ajayi coming into his first start on a new team. Most confident, though, Zach Ertz.
By far, yeah.
Yeah, just...
We saw what Zach Ertz has been on fire. Carson Wentz has been on fire. We saw what Travis Kelce did to the Broncos last week.
They're really struggling against the tight end, and Zach Ertz is top 2 this year.
I think Alshon has an awful week this week, too.
Yeah, it'll be a really tough matchup for him.
Yeah, but that being said, I got the Eagles winning this one.
Yeah, definitely the Eagles at home.
They keep their dominance going.
Yep.
All right, Falcons and Panthers. Important divisional game between two teams that have been kind of just meh this year. Just meh.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, Devontae Freeman we're going to monitor with a shoulder injury. Expects to play. I think he will.
Yeah.
However, if Devontae Freeman, I mean, not just this game, but in the future, if Devontae Freeman were to go down, Tevin Coleman jumps to a running back 1.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, I would play him every week, definitely in PPR.
Yeah.
Regardless if Devontae Freeman's playing or not.
I love Tevin Coleman.
Yeah,
man.
I know. If Devontae Freeman's not playing, then yes.
Yeah.
Just give me all of Tevin Coleman. That's what I'm rolling out.
Yeah, I wish he had a starting role because, man, he is an exciting player.
He could go somewhere and be a lead back for sure.
Yeah. All right, Matt Ryan looks like the old Matt Ryan.
It's not
sadly,
it's not 2016 Matt Ryan.
No, he looks like the mediocre Matt Ryan that we've seen for many years.
It's a Super Bowl slump, man.
And I guess it's real. Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu. I think Panthers are a tough matchup, but I think they're both fine plays here.
Yeah.
Julio's obviously the number 1. Mohamed Sanu, I think he'll do well against that Panthers defense. Panthers defense looking good, like I said, but the offense has been very, very underwhelming.
Very up and down.
And obviously, Kelvin Benjamin no longer there.
That's gonna be really interesting.
I don't
understand it at all.
Well, obviously we've been bashing Cam Newton for the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
There is no way to possibly spin this in favor of Cam Newton.
No. You can't
now that he lost Kelvin Benjamin.
You can't say it helps Cam Newton at all. I mean, I can't see a single argument to be made in that direction.
No, I am definitely without a doubt. I know we kind of wavered on a few weeks back because we said drop Cam Newton, then he went off. So this time, drop Cam Newton. I am confident he will not have a good fantasy game the rest of the season. He might have one or two here or there.
He's going to have some of those games. The rest of the games, gonna throw an interception and just cover his face with a towel the rest of the game. I mean, that's just who he is.
Yeah. But Devin Funchess, obviously, the target share is going to be increased.
It has to.
Yeah.
If they want to win games.
I don't know how much
yeah.
faith I have in Devin Funchess getting that much work.
Yeah.
But someone's got to catch the ball.
Literally, someone has to, and Greg Olson's still out.
Where do you put him? Like wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. What range do you flex? What range do you put him in?
With the Kelvin Benjamin move, I would go wide receiver 3. I think he's a little bit better than a
high end.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd probably go high end. He's better than a flex option because I don't know who Cam is going to throw to. Maybe he just won't throw. I don't know. maybe they'll put Luke Kuechly out there. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, we'll play like a little name game. Devin Funchess or Larry Fitzgerald rest of the season.
Rest of the season?
Yeah, because Larry obviously doesn't have a quarterback.
I keep forgetting about that because they were on bye this week. We were talking about that before the episode. Devin Funchess.
Devin Funchess or Jarvis Landry. Obviously, Jarvis Landry.
All
right. Devin Funchess or Juju Smith-Schuster.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The new boy in town.
I have more faith in Big Ben than Cam Newton, so I'm going to go Juju.
Devin Funchess or Josh Doxson.
Oh, that's a good one. At this point, I have to say Funchess because Doxson's still running with the 3 and 4 targets every week.
All right, how about this? One more. Funchess or Devontae Adams?
Oh, man. Golly, that one's tough.
Yeah. Sadly.
That's really sad. I go to Devontae Adams. I still think Devontae Adams is a wide receiver 3.
Okay, Christian McCaffrey. What do you make of him moving forward? Obviously, Kelvin Benjamin, target share. McCaffrey's been getting a lot of catches out of the backfield. However, that's still, I don't believe the systems. It doesn't fit McCaffrey at all.
No.
We talked about him on the last show. I think he's going to be a huge bust on the year.
Yeah.
But Benjamin's gone. Target share has to go up, right?
I don't think necessarily. I don't think that played into releasing or trading Kelvin Benjamin. They're two completely different players. I mean, you're talking Kelvin Benjamin's a huge target downfield. He's massive. He's like 6'4", 6'5", something like that. And you're talking about Christian McCaffrey, who's just catches these little screen passes and a little short pass. I don't think it helps Christian McCaffrey. They still don't know how to use him. I still flex him in PPR just because if he gets 5 catches, that's a solid 5 points.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to have some yards, but the yardage isn't there to justify it. So.
Yeah, up until now, I've said McCaffrey in standard and PPR over Jonathan Stewart, but now I think in standard, Jonathan Stewart I would take over him.
He's going to get the touchdowns.
He is?
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah.
I got the Falcons winning this game. I don't even think it's going to be close.
No, it's going to be Falcons. Yeah. Even in Carolina.
Yeah. Bengals and Jaguars. The Jaguars. Bengals looked okay against the Colts.
which is not good.
Yeah.
That we're saying that.
Yeah. They're going to have their hands full this week against a rested Jaguars team.
Arrested Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, and obviously Jaguars, they add Marcel Darius in a trade. That's their run defense has been a problem, if anything, on that defensive side of the ball. So this is definitely going to help that. I think I think it's a bad matchup for the just Bengals in general. Obviously, the Bengals running backs have been. We still don't have any clarity at all.
It's
awful. Are any of them worth starting this week?
No, not again. Well, first of all, it's a terrible matchup. I understand Joe Mixon has the ability, I believe, the innate ability.
You want to know what his yards per carry was last week?
Just that game?
Yes.
What?
1.1.
That is not good.
No,
that's where I was going.
I think he had 11 carries.
Yeah.
And 1.1 a carry. He caught 2 passes. Yeah. One was a big play, but that was against the Colts. This is the Jaguars. There's a lot.
They don't do that.
They're a lot faster. They're going to make life miserable for the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm definitely not confident starting Joe. Joe Mixon, just his yards per carry this whole year has been low. But I think one of the problems is he's only getting 11 carries. What I don't understand. They start the game, and they start the second half with guess who? Jeremy Hill. Why? Why are they still rolling out Jeremy Hill?
Marvin Lewis is stubborn. That's what it is.
I mean, and to be fair, Jeremy Hill actually had 2 good runs to start the game. But then they sat him the rest of the half. He played 1 down.
There's not even a hot hand approach.
No, he played 1 drive in the second half, and then he was benched the rest of the game. So why are they still using him? Just commit to Joe Mixon.
There's no logic that I can see coming.
But I'm not starting either one of them this week.
AJ Green, we saw he kind of had a crappy week last week against the Colts. Touchdown kind of saved him. The week before that, he struggled with Joe Hayden. This week, he's probably going to get Jalen Ramsey.
Which is one of the toughest matchups in the league right now.
AJ Green, you kind of have to roll him out there, but there's got to be worry with Jalen Ramsey.
Especially, and I've been pretty low on Andy Dalton this year, too.
And the fact that Andy Dalton's your quarterback. Tyler Kroft, I still think he's a streamable tight end. This isn't the greatest matchup, but maybe roll him out there. Leonard Fournette, coming off the ankle injury, he's going to be questionable most likely for this game. He might not practice till later in the week, but I think it's a great, great opportunity for him. Yeah. If he is healthy, definitely roll him out there. He's going to have a big week.
I think they're just saving him. I think they're just taking it really super safe because they understand that the offense is going to run through him.
Well, I mean,
they don't want to pass the ball; they want to run
it. I don't know that. Like I picked it. I had the Jags being one of the better teams at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And now they're I think they're in 3rd in that division.
Yeah.
Because Texans aren't even. They don't even have a winning record at this point.
No.
They look like they're dominating. Titans, I think, are 1st in the division. So Jaguars are going to have to start doing something, especially big plays with in the passing game. Maybe D.D. Westbrook will help that in a few weeks.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, I got the Jags winning this one.
The Jags, yeah.
All right, Colts and Texans. Andrew Luck probably out for the year.
Yeah, I have no confidence he's going to make an appearance.
From here on out, who are you rostering on the Colts?
Jack Doyle, I think, is a pretty safe tight end spot. As far as, I think he's better than a weekly streamer. Even in tough matchups, he's proven to be solid. T.Y. Hilton, honestly, it pains me to say this, but I think you got to look at the matchups when you're starting him. And this is not a terrible matchup for him.
That's a hard thing. You can't drop him, but you want
absolutely
to.
Not.
You want to, but you can't.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. For me, it's the same thing as if I hardly ever draft QBs high because there's so many streamable options and there's people on the waiver wire you can pick up. For me, it's the same thing here. It's T.Y. Hilton's, top 3 round pick. You invested a lot in him. But there are people that you could be picking up and people you could be trading for that that are doing so much better.
T.Y. Hilton's no better than Deshaun Jackson right now. They're basically the boom or bust type of player.
And that's true. And honestly, if I had Deshaun Jackson and someone offered me T.Y. Hilton, it would be really difficult for me to accept that trade.
Yeah. Texans, obviously, Colts are going to have a tough matchup here. Texans' defense have looked pretty good. Texans are arguably the most exciting team in football right now.
Yeah.
Just 3-4, as I mentioned before.
Which is surprising.
Yeah. I fully expect them to start winning. Obviously, they should have won against 2 of the best teams in the league right now. They should have won against the Patriots. They should have won against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
It was a little bit, say what you will, it might have been coaching decisions, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Lamar Miller, DeAndre Hopkins must starts pretty much every week.
Lamar Miller definitely this week.
Yeah, I think Lamar Miller has a fantastic week. I think they get up big and early, and Lamar Miller is going to run it down their throats. Will Fuller, wide receiver 2, rest of the season. Or I think
was that a question? I was like,
yeah,
that's not a lock.
no. Yeah, it was a question. Wait, did we talk about this earlier in the last show? Wait,
we talked about it a little.
Yeah,
bit
you
in the
said
last show.
yeah, but I think it'll be a wide receiver 2. I think he will rest of the season.
Yeah, I would probably agree. I mean, we joked about it before the show. I guess Will Fuller is going to score 60 touchdowns this year. I didn't think that was possible, but he's shown it in the past 3 games.
No, someone tweeted his if he were to continue on this pace, he would break the single season touchdown record on his 53rd catch of the season. No. Someone, it was Jarvis Landry has had 153 receptions in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Will Fuller has had I think it might have been 53.
Yeah.
And so he's had 100 less catches than Jarvis Landry, and he has more touchdowns in that span. So, yeah, I do believe Will Fuller will be a wide receiver 2 the rest of the season. I got the Texans winning this game. No-brainer.
No-brainer.
All right, Cardinals and 49ers. This is going to be one of the more boring games of the week. Was this the game a few weeks back where it's just field goals the entire game? Cardinals and 49ers?
I think it may have been.
Either way. So, pick up Phil Dawson, pick up...
There was a game that it was the Cardinals involved in that game. I guess it was.
Yeah, I think it was the 49ers too. So yeah, pick up your kickers.
Yeah, definitely pick up Phil Dawson.
Carson Palmer, done for the year with a broken arm. We know that. It's going to be Drew Stampman. Do you have any faith in Drew Stanton being able to give his teammates fantasy relevance?
No.
Okay, moving on. No, but
I mean,
pass catchers. I really
no.
Other than Larry, I'm still holding on to Larry just to see what happens.
John's droppable. J-Ron's droppable.
JJ's droppable.
JJ's droppable.
Adrian Peterson, you're still holding on to because maybe they run the ball, but 49ers have actually looked kind of good when it comes to their defense or run defense. At least they have a decent front seven, I thought.
Unless you're playing Zeke.
Well, okay. Unless you're playing Zeke. But you're playing the Cardinals with a crappy offensive line, a new quarterback, and a running back that just showed up 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
the Cardinals' offensive line is going to be the biggest struggle.
The expectation's not too high there.
Nope. This whole game's going to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah. 49ers, obviously newly acquired Jimmy Garoppolo, not expected to play.
No.
I actually saw a news blurb a second ago that was he's probably not expected to play till week 12. So
I was expecting 2 weeks out, so okay, so that's 3 weeks.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. What are your expectations once Garoppolo gets the keys to the kingdom in terms of fantasy?
I think there's some upside. It's not going to be like a Hall of Fame run right from the get-go.
I don't think we're going to be clear until we see him, because we really haven't seen him.
There's not a big enough sample size for Garoppolo
to
make an educated guess.
We saw, 2 games last year when Brady was suspended, and Garoppolo looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Granted, that's in a Patriots offense. That's in a Bill Belichick-run team. I still think Belichick makes that team more than anything else. So I think he could put a mediocre quarterback in there and do well.
Yeah.
So
the expectations aren't really high, but it's going to be one of those things we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, but I mean, 49ers gave up a second-round pick for him, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde, Matt Breida. Carlos Hyde has looked, I don't know, they haven't been using him as much as people would like, obviously. The offense has just looked so bad. Matt Breida got in the end zone last week. I don't know what to do with these two guys, really. I don't feel confident starting either of them any week, really.
No, if I had to take, based on if I had picked up Matt Breida as a handcuff, and based on bye weeks this week, I would probably, and I'd choose between those two, I'd probably go Carlos Hyde. I don't think Matt Breida's shown that much to justify playing, but neither is Carlos Hyde, honestly.
All right, who do you got winning this game, Brett?
This one was tough, but I'm going to go 49ers.
I am too. First win.
First win,
They're going to get the first win.
Yeah.
All right, Redskins and Seahawks. Redskins still very out of sorts on offense, and it's going to get even harder this week. Outside of Chris Thompson, because I think Chris Thompson's the best playmaker on that team, honestly.
Yep.
What Redskins run? Are you willing to start any Redskins running back? Piron or Kelly or those two.
Out of those two, I'd rather start Rob Kelly. I don't think Rob Kelly's a bad play.
This week he is.
This week he is. Going forward, I think Rob Kelly's going to be involved in the game plan, but not this week.
All right, Jordan Reed is dealing with a hamstring injury. He's likely going to be out. Vernon Davis, you willing to start him against the Seahawks?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, it's tough.
Going forward, I like Vernon Davis because I think Jordan Reed's going to be out a while.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking about that. But this week is going to be really tough. But Vernon Davis is a seasoned veteran. He's shown that he can be very capable when Jordan Reed is out, which has been often. It is a tough matchup, though. If you're desperate, I could see you justifying it, but I might want to avoid it if possible.
Yeah, I still like guys more like Tyler Kroft a little bit more this week. Josh Doxson, definitely not rolling him out this week. I'm trying to avoid him and Kirk Cousins and this Redskins offense in general.
He's just not getting the targets.
He had he saved you last week with a touchdown, 1 for 1
but
and 1.
He had 3 targets.
Yeah,
you can't rely on that one touchdown.
It's obviously we're not going to get any clarity this week because he's going to be shut down.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And speaking of shutting down, the Seahawks trade for Dwayne Brown. Mm-hmm. It's still going through, but it's slightly modified. Jeremy Lane, Seahawks cornerback, failed his physical, so he will actually be staying with the team. They just shifted around picks. I can't remember the exact picks they're getting, but Jeremy Lane will actually be staying with the team. So I don't know why he failed his physical. I assume he's been playing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but anyway.
That's strange.
Even if Doxson isn't on Richard Sherman, Jeremy Lane has shown that he is a capable cornerback.
Yeah.
Seahawks, on the Seahawks side of the ball. Seahawks on fire right now.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I mentioned, add a much-needed offensive lineman in Dwayne Brown. Do you think there's any running backs worth having on the Seahawks side of the ball with the improved O-line?
Still no.
Still no.
It's going to be the Russell Wilson show.
I agree. If it was going to help anyone, you'd think it would help Eddie Lacy being the ground and pound guy. Yeah. Obviously, the guys who can catch out of the backfield like McKissick and Procise, the offensive line doesn't help them as much as it would help a guy like Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
Eddie Lacy last week, I think he had 4 carries for 0 yards, I believe.
It was something bad.
It was something bad. But Russell Wilson must start every week from here on out. I'm not really worried about Josh Norman in this game. I think he'll be back, or he was back last week.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
yes.
Against Dez.
Yeah, not worried about him this week, though. Seahawks wide receivers move around enough to pretty much avoid shadowing.
Yeah, and he didn't shadow Dez Bryant either.
Yeah.
They moved Dez Bryant around a lot.
Norman stays on his side usually, but it's usually a good matchup there. But Doug Baldwin's in the slot most of the time. I think Doug Baldwin actually has a pretty good game here.
Yeah.
I will say we saw a very, very big game from all the Seahawks pass catchers last week.
Yeah. Well, when you throw for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns, you're going to produce a lot of fantasy relevant players.
Yeah. But rank the 4 main pass catchers. Obviously, we have Doug Baldwin, Jimmy Graham, Richardson, Lockett. How are you ranking those guys?
I go Doug Baldwin first. I would go Paul Richardson second. and Jimmy Graham, Tyler Lockett.
All right. Yeah, I like that. I think obviously Doug Baldwin's a target guy. Richardson, a little more target share than Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham gets the touchdowns. Lockett, big play guy.
Yep.
I got the Seahawks winning this one.
Seahawks, yep.
All right, Chiefs and Cowboys. Cowboys likely without Zeke, I guess.
Sure.
Possibly out 6 weeks.
At this point, yeah.
Maybe. I'll just say maybe and leave it at that. Alfred Morris, Darren McFadden. Who you like more?
Alfred Morris. I think, it's going to be a toss-up. I think it's going to be a committee either way.
Yeah, I still think one guy is going to be more relevant, obviously, than the other.
Yeah.
But I would agree. I think Alfred Morris does pretty well. And honestly, I really don't think the Cowboys lose that much with Zeke being suspended. I think they do just about as well as they have been doing, which has been them struggling, honestly, to get wins. Mm-hmm. Dez Bryant's probably going to be faced up with Marcus Peters in this game. I don't expect a big game from Dez Bryant. I think it's going to be kind of mediocre, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a good matchup for the Chiefs, however, although the Cowboys' pass rush has been pretty legit this year.
It has.
So maybe a little bit of worry for Alex Smith and his timidness. I don't know. He's been pretty composed this year. Zero interceptions. So
yeah. I think it's going to be a big week for Tyreek Hill because with the pass rush, he's going to have to dump it off fast, and Tyreek Hill has the explosiveness to get some separation quick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big Kareem Hunt week as well. Travis Kelce, you're obviously starting all these guys. I got the Chiefs winning this one.
Chiefs, yep.
All right, Raiders and Dolphins, Sunday Night Football. Both teams coming off big losses.
One was real big.
One was bad. Raiders looked pretty bad, too. They
did.
If they didn't get in the end zone, it looked just as bad.
Yep.
Marshawn Lynch will be back this game. But do you really want to start any Raiders running back?
No, I would drop Marshawn Lynch for sure. I have zero confidence in him. He's done nothing this year other than, the fastest he has run all year was from the sideline to grab a hold of a ref. That was his fastest land speed of this season. So, no, I don't have any confidence in Marshawn Lynch or any of the other guys.
Honestly, if I was going to start one of these guys, I think I'd start Jalen Richard, just hoping for a big play.
He definitely has the big play ability.
But that's about it.
It's still a risky play.
Yeah, it's a good matchup for Derek Carr, Amari Cooper.
It is, actually. Surprisingly, I think Derek Carr is going to bounce back this week because I think the Dolphins' defense is such garbage.
Dolphins are in shambles right now.
Offense definitely has their problems.
We'll get to that in a minute, yeah.
But their defense, I think Derek Carr can have a really big week against them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Amari Cooper and Crabtree both find the end zone this week. Yeah. Maybe multiple times. We'll see.
Yep.
On the Dolphins side of the ball, no Jay Ajayi. Jay Ajayi is on the Eagles now. So, Kenyon Drake or Damian Williams?
Kenyon Drake. He definitely has one of the coolest names in the NFL.
Roll Tide.
And I know that's what you were going to say. But no, I think they have to have confidence in one of those two guys to be able to get rid of your workhorse running back for pennies. I think that they must see something in one of these two, and it has to be Kenyon.
Kenyon Drake is he's never ever, even in his college days, has never been a workhorse.
No.
Damian Williams is more of the workhorse, I think. I think he'll get a lot more of the carries. I think Kenyon Drake will be the third down back and big play guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
This whole situation is really strange.
As much as I've looked at this Dolphins offense all year, I've been like, oh yeah, this could work. This looks exciting. I kind of want Jarvis Landry. Yeah.
Jay Ajayi.
All these new pieces. And I'm like, this is great. And then
Jay Cutler's huge letdown. Matt Moore's even worse, apparently.
Jay Ajayi's not even there anymore. Devontae Parker's been hurt. I don't know. But Devontae Parker expected back this week from an ankle injury. I really don't know what to expect from him or Landry. I think it's a decent matchup for both of them. If you're desperate, go ahead and play him. Jarvis, I think Jarvis has a pretty good game, especially in PPR. I think he gets a lot of catches in this game. And obviously, they're not going to have that run game solidified
Yeah.
At this point.
I think PPR, Jarvis Landry's gonna be a good start, but I don't see them scoring much.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I got the Raiders winning this one.
I've got the Raiders. I will say that I think the biggest problem with the Dolphins is Adam Gase. I really am not a fan of Adam Gase.
Speaking of Roll Tide.
Yes, I'm sorry if you are an Adam Gase fan, but in the media, he's just dogged his team. You just can't do it. I mean, no one does that.
No.
He has taken absolutely zero responsibility for after every post-game interview. It's been, I've just been really disappointed in our offense. I'm like, there's no blame on the coaching staff. He doesn't attribute any of the loss to himself. I just think that's a bad situation for players. I mean, he hates Jay Ajayi, but
that environment's very, very
it's just
bad right now.
so negative, and I just don't see it improving anytime soon.
Yeah. All right, last matchup, Lions and Packers on Monday Night Football. Brett Hundley set to make his second start. What are your expectations from the Packers after the bye with this second start from Brett Hundley?
Improvement. I think you're going to see a different offense. Aaron Rodgers is back this week, not back playing.
He's back in Green Bay.
He's not in the hospital anymore. No, he's back. He's back with the team. He's been coaching Brett Hundley, and I think that's going to do one. I mean, obviously, that's who you want behind you if you're a new quarterback. And they've had the bye week last week, much needed bye week last week, and so they've had 2 weeks to prepare for the Lions. I think it's going to be improvement. I'm not expecting a whirlwind of fantasy points, but it's going to be better than what it was.
I think Aaron Jones has a pretty good week.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a waiting game to see what the receivers do.
It's just a new offense.
Yeah, it can't get much worse than 2 weeks ago for the receivers.
I think that was the floor.
Yeah. Lions, much better than their record shows. They lost a few games by very, very close margins. Good matchup for Matthew Stafford, Marvin Jones, Golden Tate. Obviously, the Packers have been very susceptible.
Susceptible.
Susceptible. The beer's getting to me. Thank you. Thank you, Shiner Holiday Cheer.
We'll have a speech class after this.
Yeah, for making me a grammar aficionado. See, I can say aficionado.
Yeah, but you can't say susceptible.
Susceptible. Anyway, Packers have been very susceptible to the passing game. So
and Marvin Jones has looked really good. I mean, Golden Tate came back from the injury quicker than most people thought he would, but Marvin Jones held his own in this last game, and I think he deserves some looks in fantasy.
Yeah, I think both of those are good plays this week. Theo Riddick. I don't have any faith in Amir Abdullah.
Theo!
We can't say that because William is a bad person.
Sorry.
Anyway, shame on you. But anyway, Amir Abdullah, not much faith in him. Theo Riddick, I think he has a pretty good game this week. I like him moving forward.
He's on the waiver wire on ESPN.
Is he?
Yes.
Well, here we go.
No, Chef's League. Sorry.
Ooh. Yep. I'll have to go pick him up right after this. I'm gonna stick with the Packers though. I still have faith that the Packers can possibly sustain life without Aaron Rodgers.
I think I'm gonna have to go with. They're playing in Lambeau, right?
Yeah, they're playing in Lambeau.
I'm going to go Packers. I think that they have a pretty good shot to bounce back and really surprise some people.
Hopefully that bye week will really change things around.
Yep.
Okay. Starts and sits of the week. Before you jump into the starts and sits, I'm almost done with my beer. This has been...
It might be the MVP.
This has made my day. I love peach. I love beer. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back and get a 6-pack of this. Cause this is good. The problem is I found it in Knoxville.
No, the problem is I only have one of them, so I can't go to the fridge and get another.
No, and
It says 'tis the season for cheer.
the only place I've seen it is in Knoxville. So we may have to locate it. It may be featured again on an episode later this year.
Knox Vegas. We don't have any connection, or we don't have that many connections in Knox Vegas
No, we
anymore.
don't. No, I went there for work. I mean, it wasn't even for friends. So
All right, starts and sits of the week. Starts at the QB position. Who you got?
starting for the QB. I think Derek Carr has a big game against the Dolphins. As shaky as Derek Carr has looked, I think the Dolphins are just absolutely atrocious, and they certainly didn't get any better with the departure of J.J.
All right, yeah, we're going to have to pick this up a little bit. We're running out of time again. Deshaun Watson is my start of the week at the QB position, playing the Colts.
Oh, just every week.
Shocker. So,
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson. Running back position, who you starting?
Sticking with the Texans, Lamar Miller versus the Colts. I think they're going to get up big, and they're just going to run Lamar to death.
I agree. I'm going to go with Todd Gurley in this game, playing the Giants. Giants have been
Group matchup.
Yeah, Giants' run defense has been atrocious.
Yeah.
I think they're going to really, really lean on Todd Gurley this game.
Yeah.
Moving to wide receiver starts, I'm going to start Michael Thomas this week against the Buccaneers. Michael Thomas has finally been picking up a little bit more recently. If Vernon Hargraves is on him, I don't know if it'll be him or Brent Grimes.
It'll be Brent Grimes. Brent Grimes was injured. I think he's expected to come back this week. It'll be Brent Grimes for sure.
Yeah, well,
And actually, Vernon played really well this past game. If you
he
watched
did.
it.
He played better.
He had another chance because the week before they put him in the nickel and he did really well. But because of injuries, they had to move him back to the outside. He got another chance. And he actually played really well.
Yeah, but I still like Michael Thomas in this matchup. I think they'll move him around quite a bit, and obviously that offense is very pass heavy.
Yeah.
So who are you starting at the wide receiver position?
Tyreek Hill versus the Cowboys. Cowboys defense, pass defense is not that great, but they do have a good pass rush, and that bodes well for Tyreek Hill.
All right, tight end starts and sits. I'm going to go with actually, who is yours? Because I can't remember.
Jack Doyle versus
rules.
the Texans. It's not a great matchup, but I think that they're going to be down the whole time, and they're going to have to pass it. And Jack Doyle seems to be the most reliable pass catcher.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Zach Ertz playing the Broncos. Broncos, I think, will pretty much handle the run game and Alshon Jeffrey. So I think Zach Ertz has a pretty big game this week. I still think Carson Wentz does pretty okay as well.
Yeah.
Moving to defense starts, I'm going to start the Texans defense against the Colts. Shocker.
The what?
Texans defense against the Colts.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's shocking. I am going to go 49ers versus the Cardinals.
Ooh.
I just don't.
Kind of a sleeper there.
It is a sleeper. It's a sleeper, and some people would argue that you start the Cardinals defense versus C.J. Beathard, but I just have absolutely zero faith in the Cardinals offense without Carson Palmer.
Okay, moving on into our quarterback sits of the week. Who you got sitting at the quarterback position?
Andy Dawson. Andy Dalton versus the Jaguars. He's been pretty up and down this year. The Jags are pretty tough matchup for him.
All right, I'm going to be sitting Kirk Cousins against the Seahawks. Cousins has not looked good thus far this year, and Seahawks definitely going to make things hard on him. Moving to the running back sits of the week, I will be sitting Joe Mixon against the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's good.
They still haven't figured out what to do with running backs in Cincinnati. Jaguars add Marcel Darius. I think it's going to be a tough game for the Bengals in general.
Yeah. I am sitting C.J. Anderson versus the Eagles. I think the Eagles' defense has been really tough this year. I think the Eagles are going to be up the whole game. Whether or not they should use C.J. Anderson is up for debate, but based on coaching decisions, I don't think they will.
All right, wide receiver sits of the week. Who you got?
Robbie Anderson versus the Bills. Coming off a big week. I just don't like the matchup for Robbie Anderson traveling to Buffalo.
I will be sitting Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey is going to be going up against the Broncos, most likely Aqib Talib. They will shut him down.
Yeah.
Tight end sits of the week. Who you got?
Tyler Kroft versus the Jags. I know it's kind of a flyer. You're probably not starting him every week, but that's a tough matchup. It's good defense.
I'll be sitting Austin Hooper this week. Obviously, he had the touchdown last week. Don't expect it again. It's going to be up and down most weeks. Defense is sitting. Who you got?
I'm sitting the Giants defense versus the Rams.
All right, I will be sitting the Buccaneers defense against the Saints. I think the Saints are. I mean, their offenses. I don't know. I'd be sitting the Saints and the Bucs this week, honestly. Okay, all of our starts and sits of the week. That's going to be our show for today. Our Week 9 preview. Obviously, if you haven't listened to our Week 8 recap, definitely go listen to that. We talked all the news and trades and suspensions and injuries and everything. We talked all about that in the Week 8 recap show, so definitely go over and check that out. Friday, we will have our League of Records show. Hopefully, we'll have guests on the show. We'll talk probably more implications. Maybe we'll have Zeke news by then. See who's possibly won the World Series. We'll see what's going on. So, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the423football. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Give us a like. Leave your comments and reviews. Thanks for listening. We are the 423 Football Podcast.
Peace out.